Entering the building, Hisu looked around her. After pushing the door of a shop open, she let out a slight sigh of relief. Thank God, she thought. At least one store still had its lights on. She had feared ending up in a dead end. Taeha was surprised. He asked why they had come to such a place. Hisu nervously replied that she had to buy something. Taeha frowned slightly, observing the illuminated signs inside before asking if there was really anything interesting to buy here. The store looked strange, with dim lights, shelves filled with bizarre objects. A flash of amusement crossed Taeha's eyes as he realized what was in the window, significant accessories designed to satisfy the secret desires of women. When Hisu in turn realized what kind of place she had just entered, she froze, petrified with embarrassment. Her eyes widened, and she instantly regretted having brought him to this place. Taeha gave a mocking smile and launched playfully, "What? I'm not enough for you." Hisu's heart skipped a beat. Blushing, she sharply told him to stop saying things like that, assuring him that she was totally unaware of what type of shop it was. Her gaze swept the room again, and her face became even redder as she discovered the shelves filled with strange objects, sex toys, belts, ropes carefully lined up along the walls. She immediately looked away, mortified at having dragged Taeha. How could she have entered the first lighted shop without suspecting that it was an adult shop? Taeha looked at her, amused, a slight laugh in his voice. Then, curious, he asked, "And what exactly were you planning to buy?" Still mortified, Hisu stammered a few words about an adult toy. That made Taeha laugh even harder. Cheeks burning, she wondered if he was laughing because of her or simply because of the place. Trying to regain composure, she mumbled that there really were strange things here, and that she didn't even understand what kind of people could use that. This idea disturbed her. The world, she thought nervously, was definitely full of people with very different desires. Her gaze then slid onto Taeha's hands. They seemed tense, and his veins reflected his inner state. For a moment, her imagination ran wild. She visualized herself chained, Taeha gripping her face with a firm hand, a whip cracking nearby, and her face turned crimson. Taeha noticed her distress and launched, mocking, "Your face has gone completely red." Hisu, caught off guard, quickly replied that it was because of the light. He leaned a little closer to her. "Oh yeah? And why is it just your face that's red then?" Ashamed, she told him to be quiet and desperately tried to change the conversation. Then she finally spotted something normal, a pair of stockings. She grabbed them and proudly held them up. "There, that's why I came," she declared. "Does that satisfy you as an explanation?" Taeha nodded with a knowing smile. "You really like this kind of thing?" Then Hisu froze, tongue-tied, trying to justify herself. Taeha burst out laughing, which only accentuated her humiliation. She glared at him. "Don't laugh, I'm serious." But he couldn't stop. Internally, Hisu was seething. He wasn't even pretending to believe her. She had brought him here to feel safe, and now he was the one making fun of her. Seeing her expression, Taeha asked again softly, "So, do you have more things to buy?" Arms crossed, Hisu replied dryly, "Yes," then went further into the store. She grabbed a pair of handcuffs and launched coldly, "I need them to teach someone a lesson. A large, disobedient animal who needs to be trained. They'll be perfect, and I'll pay." Taeha looked at her with a slight smile. She looked furious, but he couldn't deny that this expression strangely pleased him. Leaving the store, Hisu cast a cautious glance outside, scanning the surroundings. She feared those people might be still there. Should she go back or wait? Before even thinking about it, she grabbed Taeha's hand. "If they're still there, they're just waiting for the right moment to follow us," she said, quickening her pace. Then, without warning, she started running, Taeha following her. He followed, laughing, amused by this sudden urgency. Running down the dimly lit street, Hisu asked what he found so funny. He didn't answer, merely widening his smile. For him, this situation was anything but boring. His warm hand in hers gave him the curious impression that running like this with her, even to hell, wouldn't be so terrible. He gently pulled her against him and murmured in a dramatic tone, "I'm scared. Keep running with me." Hisu rolled her eyes but continued running until she spotted a karaoke building between two closed shops. Relieved, she noted that it was still open. It wasn't a fancy place, an old basement with a slightly damp smell and dim lights, but it at least offered a feeling of security. They entered a small room. Silence enveloped them immediately. Taeha looked at her intrigued. "How did you know this place?" Hisu frowned. "What are you talking about?" He replied calmly. "Someone was following me." "Didn't you realize?" She stared at him a bit perplexed before blurting out, "You just look tired, that's all." Taeha was momentarily stunned, looking at her with disbelief. Then his hand brushed hers before slowly moving up towards her face. Surprised, Hisu took a step back. "What are you? A gigolo?" Taeha blinked. Incredulous. Had she really said that? He wondered what could possibly be going on in this girl's head. Still nervous, Hisu repeated, a little worried, "Taeha." He raised an eyebrow. "Are you planning on buying me, maybe?" She froze again, trying to understand. "Is that a yes or a no?" Taeha sighed softly. "You wouldn't believe me anyway, but you are the first." He leaned in a little. His breath brushed against Hisu's neck. She tensed immediately. "Don't do that, and don't say those kinds of things either. Men might like it, but women don't." Yet, as his face drew closer, she felt her determination waver. Maybe she didn't dislike it that much. not hearing it. Taeha leaned in and kissed her. The kiss was gentle but far too deep. When he slightly pulled back, he glided towards her neck again. Hee-soo jumped and asked, troubled, "Is this your first time in a place like this?" He nodded. "Yes." "And with a woman like me?" He chuckled and replied again, "Yes." Deep down, Taeha only wanted to hear what she wanted to believe. He had never done any of this before. Never set foot in an adult shop with a woman. Never bought handcuffs. Never desired something that didn't belong to him, and never hated someone as much as he did in that moment. But with her, everything seemed different. A slight smile on his lips, he took her in his arms, his hand resting softly against her chest. He murmured, "We're too much alike, you and me. No one else will ever want us." His voice was low, mixed with pain and affection. He asked gently, "Would you take me with you even if it means you're lying to yourself?" She was the one who had cried for Minyol. And him, it was because of her that he ended up broken. He promised that on this fragile line they called love, he would be the one to cry for her, he would be the one to break, but that she shouldn't push him away too hard. He begged her to love him, to let him give her all his firsts, and to teach her what it meant to love like an adult. Outside, the night was deepening. Later in the night, Harry seemed to have woken up from her sleep, sitting in her bed. The memories of that moment when she had crossed his gaze in that alley came to occupy her mind. When Taeha had carried Hee-soo on his shoulders laughing, he had suddenly turned his head toward Harry, giving her a faint smile as if to acknowledge her presence. That smile remained in her mind long after they had disappeared from her sight.